Define wokeness, because I hear people use the term all the time and it means something different to everybody.
Well, again, I think it's this collection of ideas that are not building on liberalism, but very often undoing it. I mean, 5 years ago, Abraham Lincoln was not a controversial figure among liberals. We liked him. Now they take his name off schools and tear down his statues. Really? Lincoln isn't good enough for you?
Bill Maher just took aim at some of the most progressive brands in the country. And let's just say his comments hit harder than Kendall Jenner's infamous Pepsi ad moment. From gender-neutral razors to rainbow-colored cereal, he's calling out corporate America like it's a stand-up show about common sense, and wait until you hear which company he goes after first. It's one you'd never expect. By the time he's done, you might start looking twice at your phone, your shampoo, and even your refrigerator.
The bride, an impressive, attractive nurse named Sarah Carton, walked out on her dream wedding to sales consultant Ben Mazenga. They were at the altar, all dressed up, almost to the part where they eat cake and do the electric slide, when Sarah broke the news to her man that she just couldn't go through with it. Had he cheated on her? Abused her? Was he a folk singing Irish vampire? No. It was because of Black Lives Matter. Because if there's one thing we know about the young liberal women of today, it's that they are very, very.
If you're enjoying this, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. You'll be surprised by how much great stuff is coming your way. So here's what happened. America's obsession with ultra woke branding finally pushed Bill Maher over the edge. He basically said, "That's it, I'm done," while pointing to things like non-binary soda cans, rainbow-colored cereal, and razor ads that seem more about emotions than shaving. It's as if every marketing team in the country has been replaced by a group of overworked interns fresh out of a mindfulness retreat, but without the chill or a decent Wi-Fi connection.
Comedians are afraid of is not being attacked physically on stage. We're afraid of being attacked on Twitter.
Being cancelled.
I grew up in the age of the comedy club, and they were a place, as they say, to be bad. Or a place, even if you weren't bad, if you had passed that point, to try out new material.
Lost the ability as a society to accept being offended.
People with a teenage mentality who are the ones who, with condemnation, because they were raised wrong.
When even Bill Maher, and a guy who's been roasting both sides for years, thinks the corporate morality show has gone so far it needs a total reset, things have gotten wild. There was a time when companies just focused on, selling stuff. You asked for soap, they handed you soap. You wanted a burger, they gave you a burger. Simple as that.
5-10 years ago, bedrock liberalism was, we are striving to be a colorblind society where we don't see race. Of course we see it, but it doesn't matter. That's not what woke is. Woke is something very different. It's identity, we see it all the time. It's always the most important thing. I don't think that. I've said it before and I'll say it again. Humans are not.
No hashtags, no mandatory diversity lessons, and definitely no political speeches were needed. But now buying a simple Pepsi can feel like signing up for a social justice training session. Somewhere along the line, CEOs must have thought, what would really help us sell more deodorant? A lesson in political responsibility.
The sense that anything that causes them the least amount of discomfort cannot be tolerated for even 1 second. Like this kind of stuff, but they don't shout it down. So if somebody does something that's a little bit outside the lines and there is a big complaint on social media, nobody stands up for them. And the problem is that nobody ever gets canceled. I will say this, they should have been aware when they wrote this ad that this is what some people were going to think. I don't think they did it on purpose, but I also think it's pretty funny that all the online social justice girls are like, it's racist. There's no such thing.
Suddenly, the same corporations that once underpaid workers in Bangladesh and spilled oil into the ocean started preaching about kindness and equality. It's the ultimate act of performance activism, coming from companies that make you solve a CAPTCHA just to buy a $6 bottle of water. After seeing all this, Bill Maher summed it up perfectly. This isn't protest, it's marketing. The idea of justice has been replaced by catchy jingles. Corporate America has figured out that adding a rainbow or a social message to a product can make people buy it, sometimes out of guilt or just to avoid being labeled the bad guy. Take Pride Month, for example. By June, every shelf looks like a confetti explosion. Rainbow chips, rainbow mouthwash, rainbow bank logos. Because nothing says equality quite like brushing your teeth with inclusivity. Companies are racing to keep up with the calendar of causes. Even the oil giants that once helped melt glaciers now tweet about love and acceptance. complete with rainbow emojis that look like they were made from crude oil. Bill Maher's rant in the end was a reality check. He pointed out that this whole woke branding craze isn't about progress, it's about profit, and he's not wrong. These brands aren't leading social movements, they're riding them like waves. Each campaign feels like it was dreamed up by a marketing intern who just discovered social activism on TikTok, posting about equality on Monday, then laying off workers by Tuesday. At the end of the day, it's all about the photo ops.
Your job is just to tell people what they want to hear. You're not a journalist.
Start your tape right now, because I'm about to tell you the truth. And F you if you can't handle the truth.
Only telling half the story, lying by omission when they leave out the part that doesn't feed their narrative.
This version of Biden, intellectually, analytically, is the best Biden ever.
You fucking liar.
Things are definitely getting stranger. Remember back in 2020 when every brand suddenly decided to become an activist? Coffee shops started posting essays about police reform, fast food chains preached about equality while still serving their same soggy fries, and tech companies joined in too, talking about human rights, even as they sold your personal data to the highest bidder. It's like watching a magician give a speech about honesty while performing tricks behind your back. The funniest part is how inconsistent this woke branding really is. In the US, brands act like moral heroes, but overseas it's often a completely different story. Bill Maher said it best, maybe companies should go back to just selling products instead of pretending to be philosophers. Because when your shampoo starts talking about toxic masculinity, you know things have gone too far. No one asked for a motivational talk in the shower, we just wanted clean hair.
Nobody ever gets canceled for being too woke. So you can say the craziest thing, like men can have babies, and then nobody will, even though people are thinking, well, that's kind of nuts, nobody will say it. They'll just fall in line. Yeah, exactly. That's what I've always thought, men can have babies, sure. I saw a dude who was glowing yesterday, I mean, and that's the problem.
And it's totally insane.
Cowardice.
Yes, it is. It's moral cowardice, isn't it?
It's intellectual cowardice.
And let's not forget the fashion brands and the true champions of woke hypocrisy. These are the companies that post black squares on Instagram to support social justice, then turn around and exploit child labor in factory conditions that would make Disneyland look humane. They sell t-shirts that say empower women while the women who made them aren't even allowed proper breaks. By this point, it's dark comedy. Meanwhile, beverage companies act like philosophers every time someone sneezes. Remember when a celebrity tried to solve global tension with a can of cola? The message was clear: don't protest, just have a drink. It was like watching a millionaire try to end world hunger by handing out a single French fry. We've now got eco-friendly SUVs, gender-neutral perfumes, and inclusive ice cream, all wrapped up in a press release full of contradictions. And of course, the same corporations funding these initiatives love to paint themselves as brave defenders of justice. But no, Karen, changing your logo for a month doesn't erase bigotry. You've just slapped a new color scheme over the same nonsense. That's not courage, it's marketing.
Found out this week that Sydney Sweeney is a Nazi. That was just, no, she's not. But you all see the ad that she's out there. This is a very important ad that we're seeing now. There she is, dressed like Jay Leno in all blue denim. And she talks about the fact that she has blue eyes, and then she says, I have great genes, because she's wearing jeans. But according to the woke people, this means that she's a white supremacist. It also doesn't help that her bra size is 36 KKK. And that the name she gave her tits.
Ironically, the more a company preaches morality, the less moral it seems. Like professional acrobats, they twist themselves around to avoid paying taxes while calling themselves progressive. They won't spend a dime cleaning up their own pollution, yet they'll happily pay influencers to cry about climate change on TV. It's like hosting a charity dinner for the poor inside a mansion with gold-plated bathrooms. Beneath all the jokes, Bill Maher's point actually made sense. Stop pretending to be noble. If companies truly want to help, they should start by doing better. Pay workers fairly, make quality products, and maybe, just maybe, stop outsourcing everything to factories with terrible human rights records. That's real progress, not a trending hashtag. Worst of all, this woke branding doesn't even work. Most people see right through it. It's like an energy drink ad showing a guy backflipping off a car while claiming to empower women, or a beauty brand that talks about natural looks but edits its models into flawless digital aliens. The hypocrisy could power a wind turbine. Even sportswear companies got caught in this marathon of contradictions. promoting justice and unity while their shoes are made in sweatshops where fairness isn't even in the vocabulary.
Sweet. He criticized the phenomenon known as presentism, which means judging everyone in the past by the standards of the present. It's the belief that people who lived 100 or 500 or 1,000 years ago really should have known better. It's like getting mad at yourself for not knowing what you know now when you were 10. Who doesn't have moments from your past that make you cringe? Yes, because we hadn't then grown into the persons we would become. And humanity writ large is just the collective version of that.
The absurd commercials weren't really the issue. It's what they revealed about our culture that matters. Morality itself has become a product. You can literally buy a sense of virtue at the mall now. Want to save the planet? Just grab our brand new eco-friendly bottle. It's completely guilt-free. It's capitalism dressed up as a morality play, and it couldn't be more ironic. Because the moment profits are at risk, these same companies drop their values faster than you can say quarterly report. Watch how quickly they switch tones when a campaign flops or social media turns on them. One day they're declaring a "we stand for change," and the next it's "oops, please keep buying our stuff." What makes it all both funny and sad is how predictable it's become and how often we still fall for it. When a fast food chain starts expressing more opinions on social justice than half of Congress, maybe it's time to take a step back. Bill Maher's main point hit home. This fake wokeness turns real issues into punchlines. Human rights, equality, and climate change are being watered down into trendy marketing slogans.
Oppression is what we were trying to stop in Afghanistan. We failed, but any immigrant will tell you we've largely succeeded here, and yet the overriding thrust of current woke ideology is that America is rotten to the core, irredeemably racist from the moment it was founded, and so oppressive, sexist, and homophobic, we can't find a host for the Oscars or Jeopardy.
When everything turns into activism, nothing really means anything anymore, and people are exhausted. Even the simplest ad now reminds you that your toothpaste might be destroying the planet. It's tiring to be constantly lectured by everyday objects that barely function themselves. The real tragedy is how big corporations use noble causes as camouflage for their own shady behavior. They hide behind the language of progress, saying, "Don't notice our labor violations. Just check out our new inclusive font." Their hashtags and recycled slogans are nothing more than smokescreens. Meanwhile, customers are becoming more aware, and when the public starts mocking your campaigns, you know you've lost the plot. It's turned into a contest to see who can tweet their moral outrage the fastest. A kind of corporate Hunger Games of virtue. Even tech companies want you to believe they care about privacy, empathy, and well-being while they're mining your data like gold. It's like Dracula starting a blood donation drive. Yet every year the ads get bolder, sillier, and somehow even funnier. Soon we'll probably see inclusive coffee made without unsafe labor and woke batteries that promise not to power problematic devices. At this point, there's barely a line between reality and parody.
Again, there's 4 tribes, I think, in this country. I think there's old school liberals and old school conservatives, Republicans and Democrats. The kind of people who never agreed on a hell of a lot, but they found ways to work together. They didn't hate each other. It wasn't all about making liberal tears and cry and all this stuff and, owning and destroying people. Then you have Trumpers, and then you have wokesters. And those fringes are not doing this country any great favors.
The best thing about Maher's takedown was that it wasn't cruel, it was corrective. He said what everyone else had been thinking but never voiced, cutting through the corporate filter to deliver a dose of honesty. Pretending to care just to make a profit isn't virtue, it's manipulation. If companies truly want to make a difference, they can start by dropping the emotional gimmicks from their marketing. Bill Maher didn't destroy wokeness. He exposed the fake version of it. He peeled back the shiny layer of moral branding that was hiding the same old greed underneath. In doing so, he reminded us that honesty and common sense are still the boldest acts of rebellion left in entertainment. The hard truth is that slogans don't change the world. Actions do. And until corporate America learns that, we'll keep getting life lessons from car insurance commercials and moral sermons from snack brands. The funniest twist of all, half of these companies probably started drafting a thank you post to Bill Maher the moment he called them out.
Here's a portfolio of jokes that would still work on a college campus. Surely.
I would hope not. From what maybe some college campuses, the ones you read about are fucking insane.
You've given up on an entire generation, and you don't know how to make them last.
I have given up on any place that doesn't even remotely attempt to believe in free speech, and thinks that anything that they hear that they don't like, that they don't agree with, is violence. These people are fucking nuts, and you should be calling them out. Somebody like you, who has standing with...
Somewhere in a sleek boardroom right now, a marketing executive is probably trying to figure out how to turn backlash into the next big advertising strategy. And that's where we've arrived. Outrage has become currency, and criticism itself is just another branch of branding. In today's world, even being roasted by Bill Maher could be considered a win. After all, in the age of viral attention, bad publicity still sells. Nothing proves Maher's point more clearly than that. His takedown wasn't just another late-night rant, it was a public service announcement disguised as comedy. For years, corporations have hidden behind slogans, hashtags, and rainbow packaging, pretending to stand for justice while quietly chasing profit. They've turned morality into merchandise and compassion into a marketing campaign. Maher simply tore off the shiny labels and showed us what's underneath: the same greed, the same manipulation, just rebranded with inclusive fonts and catchy jingles. And his message was simple: stop acting like your ads are changing the world. People aren't buying your products to feel enlightened. They're buying them because they need food, comfort, or maybe just a break from the noise. Ironically, his criticism might even help these brands. Being fake woke was bad enough. Now being boring and fake woke is worse. At least Maher made them interesting again. He reminded everyone that honesty, humor, and common sense still matter more than perfectly crafted values. And maybe that's the biggest twist of all. While companies scramble to commercialize every emotion, Maher's brutal honesty became the most authentic message in the room. In a culture where activism is for sale and outrage pays, his words were a rare thing, truth that couldn't be sponsored.